Hello everyone, my name is Stas. I have been living in Poland for 8 years and I am engaged in business. And today we will talk about sole proprietorship in Poland and the very first basic form of taxation, which is called the tax scale. That is when you open a sole proprietorship in Poland, if you do not choose anything in the taxation forms, this form of taxation will be assigned to you by default. And watch this video until the end. You will understand why this can be beneficial if you earn up to 10,000 zlotys per month. This is the key figure that will constantly follow us in this video. And you will understand if this is specifically suitable for you. Let's go. Before we begin, if you need help starting and developing your business, in Poland, assistance in actually opening a company or a sole proprietorship in Poland in accounting, there are links below the video to all our services. We will be happy to help you specifically. Let's talk about the tax scale. The tax scale. You can watch the previous video on the topic of taxes for sole proprietors here. We talked about the reach out, the turnover tax. We talked about the linear tax. And today, the first tax scale. What is the specificity of this form of taxation? I mentioned 10,000 zlotys and not without reason. Firstly, this form of taxation is based on net profit, meaning the money you take out as net income. This means you keep a record of income and expenses. And secondly, you have two limits. If in previous forms of taxation you didn't have such limits, or they were very large, here there are two very important limits. And the first of them is 120,000 zlotys net per year. So if you withdraw for yourself net, attention, net, right? Up to 120,000 zlotys per year, you will pay 12 plus 9%, totaling 21% of the net profit in tax. Why 12 plus 9? Because this is the personal income tax, and plus 9% ZUS, the health insurance contribution, which was added relatively recently. Poland added this very unpleasant bonus. This is up to 120,000 zlotys. Accordingly, it is logical that this is 10,000 zlotys per month, 120, divided by 12 months. That's 10,000 zlotys. And further, if you want to withdraw more money for yourself, for example, if you want to withdraw not 120,000, but say 200,000 zlotys per year, then you will pay as much as 41% on everything above that. This is very disadvantageous. So remember these limits. You cannot exceed them. But on everything above, that is on 120,000 zlotys, you will pay 21%. To be continued, on the next 80,000 zlotys, you will pay 41%. That's the math. Now, the question arises, what is the nuance? In this form of taxation, there are many nuances, various tricks. Firstly, the first 30,000 zlotys can be a non-taxable amount. You will pay into the Social Security Fund from them, but you will not pay PIT. Therefore, there is, let's say for the first 30,000 zlotys, how much did we calculate? 2,500 zlotys per month? Or is this the minimum wage in Poland right now? Approximately the minimum wage, yes, 2,500 net. So it's like Poland is saying, okay, you want to become an entrepreneur. If you withdraw 2,500 net for yourself in a year, like per month, then if you withdraw 30,000 zlotys a year, you won't pay any income tax at all. You will pay the Social Security contribution, but you won't pay income tax. That's the first kind of incentive. In other forms of taxation, such an incentive. Secondly, in this form of taxation, there is an opportunity to increase these 120,000 zlotys to double them. If you have a spouse who does not work, you can do what's called joint taxation. That is, you can together at the end of the year make such a joint tax payment, and this limit will increase to 240,000 zlotys. Thus, if your current life setup is essentially why it's still relevant to buy consultations from us, what makes sense in general is this adjustment to the current specific life setup of a person, and your life setup is such that you work, you open a sole proprietorship in Poland. One, I am particularly surprised if your husband or wife does not work. You understand that you will be withdrawing from 10 to 20,000 zlotys per month. This is a great way to approach the tax office to pay as little tax as possible. As little tax as possible. There are exceptions, which is why each situation needs to be analyzed individually. An important point. Often in the comments, you bring up the topic of VAT. You write like this, Stas. Well, you explained everything well and correctly, but you forgot about the 23%. Guys, please don't bring VAT into all of this. VAT is calculated separately. It's the surcharge that if you are a VAT payer, you will still need to pay. So don't mix it with PIT and ZUS. Don't mix it with your taxes, your sole proprietorship. Will you be a VAT payer? You'll just have to add it to the cost of your goods. But it's paid by the one to whom you issued the invoice, or the client who bought the goods or service from you, but not you. This is also for understanding VAT. So friends, here's the conclusion. Now in the comments, you'll be writing to me, is it per month or per year or per month? Why do I often talk about these months and years? Because in Poland, there are many taxes are calculated in the context of the year. All limits are in the context of the year, but we earn money monthly. We don't earn or withdraw once a year. That's why I'm making your life easier. Thus, if you have an understanding that you will be withdrawing from 10 to 20,000 zlotys net for yourself as an individual, this is your net income. You understand that you have expenses to deduct. You understand that you have a husband or wife who does not work. Most likely the tax cabinet will suit you. It will suit you. This is the first form of taxation. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like, write a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If I can help you develop your business, help you open and etc. in Poland, help open a company with a spider in Poland, or do you need a paid professional consultation? Below the video, there are all the necessary links. Leave a request. Either I or a manager will contact you. I will be glad to see you. Wishing you good business in Poland.